What's up YouTube, Eastern PA Fishing here. The date is November 14th. It's a very chilly day here in Pennsylvania. Not too many species of fish might be biting too well this time of year, so we are once again going to target some wild brown trout. The creek that we're going to be heading to is a little bit of a drive for me, and it is also one of the more well-known spots in this area of Pennsylvania. As usual, I'm not going to disclose the location. One of the reasons that this place exists is because not too many people know about it. Also, there are special regulations, catch and release, and lures only. I'm going to be throwing some spinners. I'm going to be throwing some small soft plastics. We're going to catch some fish today, guys. My personal goal of the day is to catch a wild brown over 13 inches. That's a pretty big trout for this creek. There are some in there bigger, but they're very far and few in between. So hopefully we can meet that goal today. Hopefully you guys all like the content. If at any point you do, scroll down below, hit that thumbs up button. Helps me out and the fish like it as well. Also, if you're not subscribed to the Eastern PA Fishing YouTube channel, what are you waiting for? Do that now. Eastern PA Fishing here, you know what it is by now. Let's get right to the fishing. We made it down to the creek we're gonna be fishing today. Water's actually a little high. It rained the last couple of days. So it's up high and it's also murky, which usually means better fishing conditions. Trout have very good eyesight and are also very wary. So most of the time, if you spook them once, they won't come back to bite. It is a weekend, so the parking for this place was pretty rough. Parking lot was jam-packed. I actually had to park on the side of the road. But surprisingly, I still haven't seen anybody fishing. Walked the creek a little ways, just off the main trail. I'm thinking about going past all the usual spots I hit, you know, all the spots that I know are good, maybe hitting up some new spots on this creek, and then coming back and smacking them at all the spots I usually catch them at. Not too sure what's gonna happen today. Let's do a couple casts here, have a little trout magnet tied on, little size 6 Aberdeen hook through that trout magnet. You can see it right there. Have it pierced pretty much Texas rigged. I have 4-pound monofilament line hooked up with a 6-foot 4-pound fluorocarbon leader. Fluorocarbon is important. I say it in so many of my videos so the fish don't see your line. Have a little tiny split shot about a foot away from my trout magnet. That's what we're going to be using today. Probably going to switch off to a spinner if this doesn't work. Let's get a couple casts in, see if we get anything here. Keep moving. This looks like a real good spot. Let's get one out there. It's going to drift this little magnet along. Barely have any weight on there. If it gets stuck on the bottom, just lift my rod a little bit. Current's doing all the work. Dragging that little trout magnet downstream. Oh, that was a bite, dang it. Well, we got the first bite on the trout magnet. It means that they are actively feeding. It's a good thing. So it seems the trout magnet really just isn't the deal today. So, I brought some spinners with me. Particularly, the ones I'm interested in using are these brown trout colored spinners. The reason I want to use those is because there's brown trout in this creek. Brown trout are cannibals, so they will eat brown trout colored spinners. This is a 1/8 of an ounce brown trout colored rooster tail. It's my favorite color rooster tail, and it's also my favorite size. 1/8 of an ounce isn't too big, and it's also not too light. I do not have a line swivel on here, so I will have to deal with a little bit of line twist, but that just gives me a better advantage. That means the fish won't see the line swivel. The only time I actually use a line swivel when I'm fishing a spinner is probably when I'm fishing for stock trout, because, you know, stock trout are pretty stupid. Anyway, we're gonna throw this, see if we can catch anything on the 1/8 of an ounce brown trout colored rooster tail. Everybody keeps asking what color and size. So there you go, that's what I use. Juicy spot. See if we can get something to come out. Bite this little rooster tail. Oh, we did, and it was a giant snag. Oh man, no, don't do it to me. This is a brand new rooster tail. Looks like I'm getting wet. Here goes the fishing spot. Gosh dang, that sucks. Wow, was barely even hooked. That's so annoying. It is official. Today when I go home, I am probably throwing out these gosh dang waders. I just cast a little too hard, hung up on a tree on the other side. Had to cross through, what is that, like 2.5 feet of water, and I'm just completely soaking wet underneath. This kind of blows. I've come quite a way so far. Haven't caught anything yet. I actually have been breaking the rule that I set for myself. I was gonna walk past all these spots that I usually fish and, you know, try to hit something new. But gosh, man, it's hard, you know, when you've come to a spot and you've caught fish from a certain area so many times, it's hard not to hit the usual spots. But we're gonna stop wasting time. I'm gonna do a couple casts here. If I don't catch anything, I will see you where I wanna go. Oh, there we go. First one of the day. He's a jumper. Oh, he came off. Oh, man. Gosh, dang it. Well, that would have been the first fish of the day on this spinner. Well, let's keep moving, keep fishing. Dang, that's rough, guys. That was a decent little brown. Not necessarily the big one we're looking for today, but a good fish nonetheless. First fish, this cast. Oh man, he hit it. He hit it so hard. Oh man. I cannot believe it. I almost called it too. First fish, this cast. Take two. This cast. Take three. What's wrong with these fish? Won't commit. Just like nibbling at the tail feathers. Getting shown no love today here on the creek. No love from these fish. All right, we got to get one this cast. Here we go. It's going to be a fish. Ooh, I felt that bite. Oh, there we go. Oh my gosh. That was the smallest fish I've ever seen in my entire life, but he was certainly on there. This is one of the more popular, but one of the more loaded creeks. Surprised it's taken this long to catch something. Haven't even caught anything yet. Jeez Louise. I'm telling you guys, fishing is tough today. Guess I should have just went to the spot I said I was going to. Gotten quite a bit of bites, just no fish yet. Almost can't believe it. Working real hard for these fish today. Oh my gosh, man. I'm getting hit left and right. I just can't catch anything. What is up with me today? A lot of people ask me and comment, how do I fish a spinner in such a tiny little creek like this? Honestly, it's all about the speed in which you reel. Notice I'm reeling real fast, and also I have my rod tip up in the air. As long as you keep your rod tip up and you're reeling fast enough, you shouldn't really have much of an issue of catching the bottom. I fished inline spinners in literally inches of water, and they still work perfectly fine. Just gotta control that reel speed. Grinding for a trout, man, grinding so hard. These fish just don't want the spinner. But I am a lazy fisherman today, guys. I'm not even gonna bother trying to tie anything else on. I'm gonna stay true to the spinner. Hopefully catch some fish. Come on, trout. It's a good spot. At least it looks good. Oh man, I'm telling you guys, it's a tough day out here. Usually have at least 2 or 3 by now, at least. At this cast, gonna catch one. Oh my gosh, he smacked the freaking heck out of it. Oh my gosh. All right, this cast we're gonna get one. It's a good spot. There we go. We got him. Stay on. First one of the day, if I can keep him on here. Oh my gosh, don't come off. Beautiful. Little brown. By far, that is the most beautiful brown I have seen in quite a bit. Look at that fish. First fish of the day. Took some time. It's barely hooked. Hook pops right out. Got to be delicate. Note that I wet my hands. Always got to make sure you take care of these fish. They're a rarity in these parts. There he goes. First customer of the day. Only took about 2 hours and 200 casts. But we're going to keep on moving. See if we can catch some more fish before this GoPro dies. Stay tuned. Oh, it's a big trout. Oh my gosh, that was a big one. That would have been the one we were looking for. Oh, he popped right off too. There's no chance even keeping him on there. Dang, that was a big fish. That would have been at least a 13-incher. That was a big old trout. There you go. Number 2. Ooh, he popped off. Count that as a quick release. Well, we're getting close to where I wanted to fish today. Gonna keep hitting up little spots here and there. Working this creek. A lot of bites today. Had quite a few fish on as well. Only caught one so far. Bit of a rough day out here. It's all right though. We're gonna keep grinding. Well, we are finally deep into the woods at the tributary that I wanted to fish today. I have about 25% of my GoPro charge left. So hopefully we can catch something else here today. There should be some wild browns here. Not even sure if there are trout here. Looks like there should be, especially if it's connected to the creek I was just fishing. Just gotta find the right pool that has all the trout in it. Oh! Yep, there's browns here. That is a trout, 100%. See if I can get him to come back out and play. Ah, he came back out. He was definitely interested. They're here. We found another creek with wild browns. Oh, that would have been right in front of me. That would have been the sickest catch of 2020. There's little browns in this creek too. Once again, another creek with wild trout. There we go, we got one on here. Little guy. Oh. A bigger trout actually came out and tried to smoke that guy. Well, there's number 2 or 3, whatever the heck. I have 10% charge left on my GoPro. So who knows if I'm gonna be able to pull anything off here. Looks like the chances of us catching a big one have probably gone out the window at this point, but we're gonna wrap it up on a good note, hopefully, and catch a couple more here.